And one of the, I mean, just some. See, I watched a lot of Graham Norton. Do you know him? Amazing British talk show host, right? Like, he's so fucking popular. And also Joe Rogan. And Jimmy Carr. You know Jimmy? Yeah.
I like Jimmy Carr.
And both Joe Rogan and, I mean, Joe Rogan's a stand-up in his own right? But Graham Norton, you know, he'll have the most famous people in the world on his show. You might have 4 of them on the couch, but he'll always have one comedian. And that's because if the guests are fucking boring, the comedian will make people laugh. So that's the secret. So I went, right, that's genius. So, you know, we'll always have a comedian on this podcast. And Joe Rogan, I mean, half of his podcasts are just with comedians. It's him and another comedian. And then the other half, I reckon it's about half of them are him talking to another comedian. 20% of them are him talking to an MMA fighter. And the other 30% is him talking to some kind of expert on some kind of world affairs. You know, whether it's Ukraine, like he has this ex-CIA guy come on regularly. Yeah, he had climate experts come on, he had COVID experts come on, yeah, whatever the hot topic of the day is.
And what, yeah, interesting. So what was his view on climate and stuff? Interesting to know.
Well, he interviewed 2 experts, right? One who was on the, you know, climate change, yes, it's having an impact, but, oh, look at my tongue, it's wrong. Oh, that's wrong. But, you know, it's not really a problem like they're making it out to be.
Yeah.
But this guy, you know, this guy is
distraction. There are problems that we're being distracted from dealing with.
Yeah. And this guy is like professor of physics, and he's got all the right credentials, and he's just written a book about this whole thing. And then he brought on another expert who, you know,
has the other view.
Who has the other opposite view.
That's the way you do it.
On 2 different shows, right?
Yeah.
And then he, the second guy, critiqued the first guy and critiqued that first guy's book. So
I'm just I'm just doing the whole lot. It's on now. It's live streaming. So I'll just.
You're live streaming now?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
you've got to tell us beforehand.
Why?
Because there are things I don't want to say live.
You just said it. Too late now.
You just said it.
I just said it. I don't want to tell everyone I'm a heroin addict. Oops! Too late.
I like heroines too.
Yeah. Heroines are my favourite women. Yeah.
Heroin
In
addict.
Italy.
Yeah.
Good.
Really?
Excellent.
What were we talking
We were talking about Joe Rogan.
Beautiful.
and
This
climate
is
change.
Right,
this is working as well. All right.
You were speaking about the balance, the elements of his show.
Yeah.
So like a third,
Third,
social commentary,
half of the third social commentary,
MMA,
20% MMA, and 50% just talking shit about current affairs to other comedians.
Really?
Yeah. That's what he does. You know, and he got $100 million
He
deal.
interviewed Elon Musk. They dropped him.
Yeah. Elon's been on 2 or 3 times. Mike
Really?
Tyson goes on regularly.
Yeah.
I think who was it? Was it Zuckerberg or maybe
Really?
it wasn't Zuckerberg? But you know, some of that, those big business names. There's a few of them that have been on. There's actors that go on regularly. Yeah, ex-CIA agents.
He draws a line though. He's not going to Pizzagate or to say.
He talks about pretty much everything. Like
Really?
often he goes, like one of his favourite topics, DMT and ayahuasca. So if people have experience or expertise in that area, he invites them on.
But that's almost mainstream now. Yeah.
It is, but it's
Everyone's
still illegal, right?
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
In some countries it probably isn't. In others it's probably compulsory.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a variety of
But he got into deep he's been podcasting. I mean, Joe Rogan started his career as a stand-up and as a comedy actor, and then a TV host with Fear Factor. And after doing that for 30 years, he started a podcast. Oh, for 20 odd years.
Did he get the cage? Was he actually?
He was a taekwondo fighter
Mhm.
for about 5 years.
Mm.
And he did taekwondo from when he was 10, but he was a taekwondo, like he was doing bouts.
Did he do MMA?
No.
Oh.
Because he was doing taekwondo, and then after a few years he was finding he was getting headaches after bouts, and he stopped competing. And now he's a jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is his thing.
Practitioner.
Yeah. But he commentates the MMA.
Mm.
So he just loves mixed martial arts.
You can move up into the spot at any time.
Sure.
And you just gotta, but you can stay there because it's easier.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to cut to you and to.
Yeah, gotcha. But, so I can't, there's a monitor up there which we haven't plugged in yet,
No,
which I'll be able to see, but at the moment you can see the monitor up there.
I can
So if
see
I
it.
cut to me,
alright, now it's on
hopefully,
you.
now it's on me, and then I can always do a close-up. Is that
Yeah.
working?
That's a bit closer up. Do you want a real close up?
I don't know, what is it, Head and Shoulders?
Belly, from your belly.
Oh, maybe we go a bit tighter.
And a 2 foot above your head. A foot above
Yeah,
your head. Looks alright. Looks fine. Your head's in
yeah,
the
well if you compare like that,
your head's in the centre of the picture.
yeah, right.
Go
so-
to the close up again. I can go a bit closer.
You probably lose that coffee mug too. It's
Oh,
just
the
well.
coffee mug was good. Anyway, yes, that's tighter.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And then we can cut to the bar. Is that the bar?
No, that's
That's the couch.
a lounge.
That's the lounge, okay. And then to the bar.
That's a bar here.
Oh, sandy mountains in it.
Yes.
The mountain of sand. La Montaña. Throwing drinks at me already.
All right. Yes, that's a
Fruit.
bar. That'll be.
Speaking of drinks,
Yeah. Let's get you one.
you know what? I need just rehydration.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Is all I need. I've had a bit of a night last night.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I went down to the beach
Yep.
for the baptismal dip. And,
What, last night? Or
Just now.
after you woke up? Oh, yeah.
and it was just sea blowing out and on shore and not grizzlies but
What about some pomegranate juice?
oh fantastic mate.
Um,
Thought you never asked.
and I've got electrolytes in the car.
Could I? Yes. But you wouldn't put them in the pomegranate.
No, just the flavour.
No. You wouldn't. So yeah.
But we can get some water with electrolytes.
That'd be great, mate. So yeah, it's interesting looking at the sort of. Have you ever seen that other show, Edge of Wonder?
No.
That's interesting. Two blokes. So I think they're comedians. They're pretty witty chaps, and they sort of analyse the conspiracies, the taboo subjects, the freak in the occult, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
They're logical.
Great.
They're critical. I may not necessarily always agree with them, but I think that they're well intentioned and pretty much on it. Pretty. I mean, and I might be wrong on the areas that I'm wondering. I'm possibly wrong, but it's questions of fact rather than interpretation. Really, you sort of
Yeah.
make the same interpretation.
But I think what makes it interesting is that if we have experts on that have deep knowledge in a field, and then we just have an open, inquisitive conversation with them, then that's open-minded. Then that's really what makes it interesting, because most people listening are not going to be experts. So the basics is just enough for them. Would you like a pomegranate juice, La Montaña?
Cheers, chaps,
Cheers.
to the success of this venture.
Yeah. And then we can zone in on whatever topics we like as regular topics. Like Rogan, again, he does aliens quite often too.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested in doing we should get Evan and we should get Evan and Stephen Strong on.
Well, yeah.
Ancient history and
Yeah. Especially in this area. We are in that area.
yeah. in this area of that area.
Utter ancientness.
Hmm.
We're close to the epicenter of that,
Yep.
where we sit.
And then maybe even I'm thinking of doing some some flood stuff.
Flood and stuff.
Yeah. Like, a few people that had their experiences in the flood, but also talking to some of the agencies that are addressing it. Because I know that like some of my friends have not-for-profits that are right in the middle of the flood recovery, and the shit that's happening, the political infighting, and the kind of waste of resources and efforts is just profound.
Well, all of a sudden, these helpers just show up. So they're coming in from out of town, representing reasonably organised sort of hierarchies. We come and say, we've got this.
Yeah.
We do this all the time. You can help us, perhaps. And they seem to take over. And
Yeah.
they seem to confound. I would have thought it was an ineptitude, but I actually think it's sort of quite deliberate.
Part of it's ineptitude, and I think part of it's
Orchestrated ineptitude.
politicking and positioning. Like external agencies come in, and it's all about their careers rather than helping people.
Yeah.
And following silly regulations.
The World Central Kitchen. There's a group called the World Central Kitchen.
Yeah.
And they've shut up in Lisbon.
Yep.
And they're taking over local groups who have no identity, they're not an entity in a collective sense, other than they're a bunch of people who got together and did something.
Right.
So a group comes in with a incorporated name, an NGO, they're funded from a global trust.
Yeah, that's a big
The
money.
global central, big money.
Mm.
I smell Soros, but
Yeah.
I get,
B5 of
it's called New World Odor, and it's sort of everywhere,
Yeah.
like mold after the flood.
Reaching out their tentacles.
Mm.
So what are they doing? They're kind of coming in and gazumping local.
Yeah, right now they've got them in court. The group that started called Aussie Helping Hands. They're just an honest bunch of mums.
Yeah.
They are absolutely. I don't see them as being any agency or any group of spooks. They did some really good work, and they raised money and they distributed it. But they haven't got the licenses to do this. They weren't ticked off them, but they were doing
Yeah,
it.
they hadn't done the paperwork.
They didn't even know there was paperwork. They thought we just had help.
Nice.
A bunch of women make a few phone calls to each other, and this thing grows into a thing. They're not incorporated. They just call themselves Aussie Helping Hands because they just wanted to have some sort of a flag to gather under, but there's no hierarchy, there's
Just
no
people helping
officers, people helping people.
Nice.
There's no directors, there's no secretaries, you'll do the scones this week, I'll drive. I mean, it's really homey, it's domestic. It is in no sense an NGO with, officials and grants, and so they're doing this, and they've got a couple hundred grand, and this new group, this Global Central Kitchen, have taken them to court and charged them with malfeasance and misappropriation.
Wow.
It's a total lie, they know it.
Right.
And they've frozen the assets of those people. And those people have stopped helping, and they were very good. Aussie Helping Hands were very good.
We're actually getting stuff done
doing
on the
stuff
ground
done.
with people that were
They're
impacted.
getting people $5,000, just $5,000,
Right.
as a one-off freebie. They had their own little means test. You're inundated, you've got kids or whatever, and they'll give you $5,000 just people who need it.
Yeah, wow.
And,
Now, hold that thought for a second. I'm going to get some water.
Mhm.
Some good filtered water. Not tap water shit.
So zero means no views. Are we still streaming there, mate?
Yeah.
How many views we got? None?
None.
I feel safe with that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Being
Oh.
streamed, recording, minutes.
We have no views.
No chat rate, no views.
What do you mean we got no views?
You have to watch it.
I mean, we told no one about it, and it's our first show.
I was trying to complain. I didn't know what to expect.
Hey, is this?
Turn it on to the close-up, but you're not in the close-up.
Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong. I knew I did that. I pressed the wrong button. I'm trying to get the bar.
We must look terribly professional if anyone was looking.
Hold on. There's a couch.
Hang on. You're back on the couch.
Yeah. Now I'm after the bar, but I think the camera. I just heard the camera turn off.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Mike New, is he here?
Yeah.
Mike New.
Mike New.
Who the fuck's
It's one of his predators. Quick,
Oh, sorry, no one of that name here.
head for the bat pole.
Come in.
Rev up the jet ski. Hello, mate.
I'm just gonna have to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Hey,
Anan,
hey, good man.
you guys know each other?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. That's good. Hey, Bryce.
Hey, man.
We're actually live streaming right now.
G'day, live streaming. Da-na-na.
We're,
No one's watching though.
no one's watching though.
It's still called a test run, I guess.
Well, it's our first episode and we told no one. So, except for you.
Yeah.
Would you like a pomegranate juice?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Get started with some of that.
Cool,
I
man.
got some goodies in there we can
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
bring out.
anything you want to add to the pomegranate juice?
Yeah. Yeah, plenty of things.
That's a mixture.
Did you get any coconut milk at all? Any coconut water?
No, I almost did, I forgot. But I got coconut milk
Yeah.
and I've got,
That's all right, we can,
whole
What
bunch
camera are
of-
we on?
oh, yeah.
We're on the couch camera, so.
No, we're not.
Look at those bottles.
You're not on the couch.
That's cool, we've got enough.
Oh, okay. And we've got a whole lot of,
Carrot wine.
we got,
Shimmy.
yeah, we've got a whole bunch of those things.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Mate, could I have
Like, I
a
just went and bought-
red this with that?
Oh, didn't I? Put
Thank
it
you.
in your glass.
I walked in and disturbed you, you see.
Oh, it's all right, mate.
I'll go and grab a couple of things.
Yeah, grab your stuff and share what you got.
Spot now, Michael, because people are
Understood.
and direct your
That's better
friends
with the water
to
in it.
their spot
Yeah, yeah, much better with the water.
so that you can talk to them.
Yep.
And listen to me, I sound like a school teacher.
That's all right.
This is like.
We're all co-directing.
Mm.
You want me to tell
We're
you what
codependent
to see?
co-directors.
Codependent co-directors collaborating in a co-creative.
In code.
Yeah. Code.
Fully coded.
I like this podcast. It's so fucking together.
No, but this is the
It
thing.
would be refreshing.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. We've done this sort of thing before with some of the boys and girls, and we do like we get together with this thing called the Joint Chiefs, and we just get together as
Yeah.
the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and we have a few,
Yeah.
um, prop joints. We wouldn't smoke real joints, of course, because that would be illegal.
Sure.
So and we'd have opinions and talk and carry on and say stuff which is probably taboo, politically incorrect, risque or whatever. But
Like you actually had an opinion.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
And like that's the possibility that someone might be offended wasn't going to be minutes.
No.
So we go on for ages, and then we cut it and get the eyes out of it. You know.
Yeah, sure.
You go for 2 hours, you get 15 minutes of
Gold.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's a good idea too.
Mm.
But
But then again, some people are in for the ramble,
yeah,
the long haul,
we provide it in both formats: the long
Marathon.
format and the short
a
format.
marathon of mirth,
Yes.
a mirthathon.
A mirthathon of merry men
That's right.
and women.
Yeah, merry members. Not all have members though. Or could be members. Just remember.
Just remember, your member may not be a
Just
member. So dismembered.
We
Dismembered.
don't like surgery.
We're also thinking of, see how this couch camera has got that angle from up high,
Oh yeah.
you know, bringing the camera down to head height. So take it from up there to like, you know, mounting it there on the wall maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It does look like a surveillance camera.
It does a bit.
I thought that was what you were going for. I think you're going for that sort of postmodern deconstruction of the surveillance state.
Yeah.
But that one's not on there in this one.
And now we've got, so now we've got a nun.
I've got a good name for the show.
Yeah.
Please state.
Please.
We have the please state.
Please state.
We want to please you. State
Yeah, yeah.
pleasing.
Please. Please state your agenda.
Because the police state is the police state your name. Please state your name, please state your name.
Please.
Please, we are the police state. Please state.
Yes, of course.
It's a sort of a hippity hop thing I did once. Yeah. But that was the sort of the hook. That yeah.
Yeah. So you last night we were at the Bangalow pub, and
You can,
Frank did an amazing, what was it, 10-minute, totally improvised ad-lib comedy song.
True.
Was so bloody good.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think someone actually might have filmed it.
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Are you good?
That's why I
chap,
sat
you?
right down in the front. Are we on the bar now, Sandy?
No, you're on the couch.
On the couch, okay.
You
I
may
don't-
approach the bar,
I'll get her.
Mr. New.
I'm not going to leave the bar.
You won't after this.
And Ananda's, yeah.
Oh, man, always one.
Yeah.
Good, mate. Thanks, brother. Top me up.
Wow, you've got bottles of wonder here, Ananda.
I have got the juice of the future.
He's
That's
the druid,
what I
The
have.
druid with the fluid.
I'm the druid with the fluid.
Mm.
Yes.
The Ananda with the wonder.
And under with the wonder. Bit of that.
Here comes the goose juice.
Yep. That one.
That one.
The golden goose juice.
Can you make a fourth for
Yes.
La Montaña?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I put it in there, didn't I? Yes.
Can we get the glass?
It's a good little set though, in the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of, it's good, you know, nice backdrops and
Yeah. Use that.
the one post has fallen off a bit in the corner.
Yeah, that's part of it.
One.
Part of the deal.
Yeah.
Sort of the shambolic,
It's
sort of
meant- yeah, yeah.
organic nature of the whole thing.
Yeah.
No worries, mate.
Working with it. You
You
know.
know, should put a spittoon over here
Yes.
to keep it real.
And a pissoir.
Pissoir. Yeah. We are the pissoirs. Give me a spittoon. The ones that echo when you know spitting at the. You got ones that would echo.
Yeah.
Ding. Mm.
Hey, La Montaña, are you able to get sound effects?
No.
What is it? The Goon Show.
The good check, exactly.
You can have your own sound.
We will.
Man,
But even
stop that simple one singing.
Oh, that's very good. Like Troy Platt used to be able to do all the Goon shows and all the voices by himself at once. He would sit there and just do 20 minutes of Goon shows, and it was just hysterical.
Where'd that water go?
His departure into South Lost.
Oh, there it is behind
yes,
you.
yeah. Where's it? We can stick it behind the bar if you want.
I still think the funniest thing that ever happened with the Goons.
Yeah.
So good.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Fully loaded.
Well, mate,
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
With
Okay.
just,
that'll give you, mate, learn your pencil and 5 years on top.
yep. Let's stick some water in that one. That one's.
Yep.
Roll.
Good blessing.
For you.
Thank you.
You just have to write what they are.
So number 1 is Mike. Number 2 is the couch. Number 3 is the bar, and number 4 is the close mic. Number 4.
Four.
Nice and tight. Look straight in the camera, Mike.
It's open mic night.
It's open mic night.
Open season on mic.
Now we.
What's that?
Now we're on to Frank. Hey.
No, go back to you. I can focus it a bit.
Oh, you want to focus it? Maybe I'm meant to be blurry. It's kind of a bit blurry this side of my eyeballs.
Mm.
No.
Here.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're
No,
right.
everyone can
Focus
see me
now.
properly.
You can
Yeah,
see
that's
the
Doing
wrinkles
great,
and
mate.
None of us have a close
Everything.
examination.
I should have
Give it mid-range.
done my hair before we started. Anyway,
Mm.
The bar's good.
the bar's good. So I got an under. Do you want to explain anything about this without sending us to jail?
Yeah, sure. Put a drop of that. Put a drop of that in there.
Yeah.
That one's old mateys.
Which one is?
That one.
This one is.
Yeah.
Oh,
This one's yours.
great. Here you go.
Yeah.
Good help.
That one's
Good
yours.
Thank you.
I just put a drop of this in that, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did.
Yeah.
Before I handed it to him.
It smells beautiful.
Mm.
Look at the colour. You've got like beautiful.
Is it the turmeric one?
Sugar thing.
Yeah.
So this stuff here, all these are a range of. This is what I'm developing as a new range of medicines to be published very shortly.
Great.
I've almost got all the descriptions and labels sorted, and there's people all over Australia waiting for me. They've all had a taste. We've done all the R&D we need to know that, well, it's just everyone who has a go comes back going, amazing, great.
Wow.
What do you do? How do you do that? I don't know, but I do. I'm the only one who does it.
Yeah. Wow.
So, we've been messing with this for 4 years. With this stuff, it's the base of it's the mosmus, and then I mix the herbs. Nikki actually does the blends. She's a naturopath, so when I ask for a brain tonic, she comes up with a list of herbs that'll all suit as a brain tonic. And then we've got an antiviral, which we've designed particularly for COVID. It disables the spike protein and conditions the blood plasma so that there's no blood clotting. It warms the heart, so the heart attack thing is a hell heap less. 600 athletes have dropped dead on the field out there already from heart attacks.
Every day.
From this bloody spike
Every
protein. Yeah.
Every day.
Mm.
It never happened. They're athletes.
Never happened in
They're
the whole history of the world.
They're the first people in the world. They don't get heart attacks.
No, they don't get heart attacks. They're the healthiest people on the planet.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this thing called the spike protein. We don't know where it come from, of course. We wouldn't like to project our aspirations
Or our expectorations.
or expectorations,
Yeah.
especially on camera. But we don't know how this spike proteins ended up in the society. So,
Great expectoration.
but anyway, the antiviral one, it's just great. I know everyone I know who they just start coming down with a few symptoms, and I say, here, I give them a bottle. Okay, get into that every 20 minutes for an hour or 2 hours. They wake up the next day, gone.
Yeah. Wow.
Otherwise,
That's
they're
amazing.
10 days in the process. Yep.
Yeah.
And even throughout that 10 days, if I get them and they're already crooked, they've been crooked for days, I give them some of this, and again, it's every 20 minutes. It's only 5 drops. 5 drops every 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
Can I just run something? I said, all right. There's a mate of mine just come back from Sydney,
Yeah.
and the doctors told my mate to go home and die. Basically.
That's when they normally end up in my clinic.
Yeah, right. So I said to him, mate, if your doctor says you to go home and die, change doctors.
Mm.
You know? I mean, I want the one that doesn't tell you to go home and die. Just go home and have a great time and live and be happy and well.
Well, there are not many of them that are
No.
indoctrinated doctors.
Indoctrinated doctors. Yeah,
Indoctrinated
exactly.
doctors.
Yeah.
They have all been
Yeah.
conditioned to point the bone
Yeah, exactly.
and condemn people to death.
Or the hypo, you know.
So that's the like the nocebo, nocebo or something it's called. Right?
Nocebo.
Oh,
So the
God.
placebo is when you're told something's beneficial
Yep.
and it benefits you.
Yep.
And the nocebo is when you're told
Yep.
you're going to die and
You go home and do.
you basically go home and do. And I
Yeah,
think
you do that.
my understanding is that's scientifically proven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, they in all pharmaceutical tests they'll do a placebo and the drug itself,
Yep.
and the placebo, half the placebos
Get rid of.
all get cleared as well. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
They have even science has proven
They
this.
can't prove. They've never proven. It's not 100% placebo.
No.
So they can't prove that the people who got better from using the medicine didn't get better by placebo as well. Because the experiment's not designed to do that. So it's false to say 30% placebo when they can't disprove that 100% placebo. It's quite plausible on the facts that it's 100% placebo. They all got better on placebo.
Yeah.
But my mate down in Sydney, right, he's been told to go home and die. Now the truth is he's obese
Yeah.
and he's got diabetes and he's got a fucked up liver and he's like, his diet is about as bad as it gets. So
Yeah.
I mean, and so my view is, if you just stopped eating, started fasting now, you would change in an hour.
Absolutely.
If you just stopped eating what you eat and just a bit of activity.
If he did,
obvious things,
if he did a 21-day fast,
he'd be fine.
he would eat all the stores, the fat stores.
Yeah.
His body would just keep consuming itself.
And he's got a lot of toxicity built up in that.
And he would pass all of that through too.
Yeah. So, what do
So
you think?
long as he's strong enough here.
That's it.
This is where placebo works.
This is right. Yeah.
People that have a naturally strong core can heal through placebo really well.
Yeah.
But those with a really weak core, you can't do much for them. It's actually a death wish.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but people adopt a death wish. Their life has been so difficult that they've lost the fucking will.
Yeah,
They've lost the will to die.
No, you're on it, mate. That is the.
You know, these are
Yeah.
psychologies
Yeah.
that we understand.
He used to have a really strong life force. I've known him all his life. I've known him for 50 bloody years, mate. I grew up with him. I've known him for 57 years.
Yep.
We went to kindy together.
Yeah, right.
So he's a really good old mate. And it's sort of hard to see him suffering. But
Yeah.
but the funny thing is this, he still is quite upbeat. And I'm saying, mate, no one knows the future. That doctor isn't a prophet. He might have a profitable practice, but he ain't no prophet. No one knows what the future is. He can't tell you you're going to die in a couple of weeks or months. That's just crap. That's actually fucking toxic and vicious and should be banned from the bloody procedures of medicine.
Every
I
one
think
of
what they're
these
really
doctors.
sorry,
You're right.
I think what they're really
Yep.
saying is when they give you like a prognosis of there's nothing we can do, death,
Yeah.
essentially go home and make yourself comfortable. It's basically just saying we don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
And why aren't they why aren't they referring you to other people to try
A
alternative
nutritionist.
things?
Yeah, exactly.
A what?
A nutritionist, you know?
What's that?
Hey,
It's new.
vets heal people better than any doctors can because they learnt nutrition.
Yeah.
Part of their indoctrination was nutrition
Yeah.
because you want to keep your livestock herd healthy. So they give
Yeah.
vets are well more trained.
Oh man, my brother goes to see a vet than a GP.
Go and see
No,
a vet.
They give better medicine. It's like racehorses get ivermectin,
Yes,
zeolite,
yes.
and special K.
In special guys.
They wouldn't give that to us. People are saying ivermectin, racehorse drug, racehorse stuff. I'm going, are you kidding? They get the good drugs.
They get the best drugs.
Yeah, you're disposable. You're not going to win the Melbourne Cup.
No.
You know.
No, in fact, they're going to get all your savings once you die. So
That's right. Yeah.
you're better off dead to them.
Better off dead. Plus, we've got the organ transplant, organised, tissue harvest.
Tissue harvest, all
Yeah.
that. So your old matey, you know, if he wants to, if he's prepared to follow a program,
Discipline is what's required here.
yeah. If he's got that in him, I can help. But the thing, that's my first question.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Are you prepared
To do the work.
to do the work? So if you're not, then that's cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know,
It's your choice. It's your choice.
the afterlife's as good as or better than this life,
Yeah.
and your next life
Mm.
is your choice.
Mm.
So, you know,
Where do you want to go from here?
where do you want to go from here?
Mm.
I understand that this life
Yeah.
has been difficult for
For a lot of people.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's been so hard.
Yeah.
Even myself,
Yeah. All
to
of us.
hold my own ground.
We've all had our challenges.
Mm. You know, the
Still
reason I do this,
Mm.
this was to heal myself.
Mm. Mm.
I learnt nutrition
Mm. But you need it.
and then medicine
Mm.
because I needed it
Mm.
and I didn't trust what's out there.
Mm.
So,
I mean, I don't have your knowledge, but I had to help myself too. I learned to trust my own decisions after a while.
Oh,
Make
fantastic.
a good choice.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's pause
Hey,
that for a
darling.
minute.
Hi, you must be Sandy Mountain.
Sandy Mountain.
Sandy Mountain.
This is your ear.
Didn't you say
I've never
Sandy
been called Sandy Mountain.
Oh, you're Sandy Mountain. I just walked past I didn't know where to put things up. I was sorry, I don't mean to barge in with my whole
What do you have
story.
going
You're
on?
streaming.
No, come and sit and have a seat on the
Is
couch.
this
Mm.
casting couch?
This is the casting couch. Yeah,
I'm
you
not
and
wearing the
Frank.
right hat.
You and Frank can do whatever you want.
Oh, hang on. How do I?
The
How
casting
do we-
begins in 10 minutes.
How do we up
It's
the
up.
camera up there?
Oh, it's up. Where?
The change room's over there.
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing
Camera's up-
tragedy.
camera's up there.
I didn't know. I'm not film worthy.
What
Maybe
do you
I'll go
got?
and change my image and come back.
That's a
not
great
showing.
image, man. That's a great image.
My image isn't showing.
That's
No.
like
Where
a-
is
Come and
it? Oh, it's up
come
there.
and come and
Oh,
sit.
no.
Come and sit in this chair over here,
Oh, okay.
Really? Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, no.
then just for a minute, and then we'll put you on number 4, and it's that
No.
camera there.
This is, I'm wearing bad clothing.
You're great.
You look
Oh,
awesome.
Stop knocking yourself
You
Yeah,
look
out.
amazing.
you know, I
We
wear
love you
costume.
just like you are.
I usually
Mm.
like Kiss. See that poster there of Kiss?
Mm.
Mm.
I do shit like that when I perform. I put on wigs and things so that
Mm.
people don't know me in the street, but they do.
So hold it up a little bit higher. That's it. No, this camera here.
Oh right, okay, there we go.
There you go.
Thank
Perfect.
Would you
goodness.
like an elixir?
I don't know.
It's not alcoholic.
I just had a fibre blend of it was the all clear fibre mix from the
Mm.
because I stopped smoking and you know
Oh, this
everything
is
slows down. Look, I've come
way
right-
beyond that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
This is my
Yeah,
magic.
well,
Let me
anyway.
just sort you out. There you go. That's
I've
enough.
got that's enough
What
advertising.
is
It's
this then?
free furniture because I've been renting a storage shed for the last 7 years. While I've been living out of the car, it's coming up to 7 years. And I've got a piano.
Yeah.
And I've got some couches and
Yeah.
furniture, and I'm thinking, the amount of money that I've paid, it's $200 a month.
Yeah, you would have bought them things 10 times.
I would have put them over and over, and now
I did the
everybody
same.
needs furniture, and I'm thinking, where do I put this up in Mullumbimby? But you go to the notice board, and it's all like you've got to do yoga or shamanic healing or elixir bar. I'm thinking, oh, where do you put your bedding for free? Come and get
What
it.
about the
So,
What they should
you
have sent
know,
Are you on
it's-
What is it?
Facebook or anything?
well,
The
I
subject.
just I just got a quiet
Yeah,
Facebook
well,
page.
the
I've got
subject.
3
Behind-
friends
yeah.
just so I could
come
contact
back
my
to that.
daughter. Well, she's overseas, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Do you want to grab a seat next to Frank?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I forgot.
okay.
I forgot.
Now we
I
can.
thought we were on.
Right.
But how many's in the audience that you're watching?
No one.
Go
No,
on.
it's
All right.
just streaming.
No, we've been watched by the Void.
Yeah.
Amber Void.
You're being watched by the void.
Hey, you could
But
go
if
Amber
from a-
Void.
I could call
And the
myself,
truth is,
I've got
I
a
could call
condition.
myself Alpha Betty.
Alpha Betty.
yeah, you
It's
should.
good, isn't it?
I like
it's
it.
like Alpha Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Frank can call himself Spaghetti.
I think I call myself Spike Protein.
Spike protein. That is so
I
good.
got a punk band, Spike
I'll be
Protein,
Alpha Betty.
and the
Super
Wow,
Spreaders.
what is it?
The Super Spreaders.
Yeah. Maybe the Super Spreaders.
Super spreaders.
Yeah. I'm spreading them, baby.
Oh.
Spreading
This
them,
is,
I'll
um,
say.
We call it
smells
Mosmus.
Amazing.
Ananda's going to
don't
give us a
usually-
full
I
rundown.
feel like, but the thing is, I'm a bit hungover. I have too many alcohol.
Oh, that'll just
That'll
sort
sort you
you
out.
completely out. Yeah.
Mm.
You were wonderful
Absolutely.
last night, Susie.
That's what they.
Also.
Few of them have said that actually.
No, Mike can confirm.
Yeah, you were really wonderful. Frank
Oh,
and
that
Susie and
was-
myself were at the open mic at the Bangalow pub last night. Tuesday nights, highly recommended.
Mm.
And both of them performed separately.
We did,
And together.
Both of
Actually,
them were
Frank's
spectacular. Oh, and together.
jumped
And
up with me.
At one point. Mm.
he is a bit of a upstart,
Mm.
but
Yes.
both of you were amazing.
Startup.
Thank you.
Start up.
Well, I was pent up. That was my first display of original music since before COVID.
Before the
No.
play.
Wow.
And I came
BP.
out, my first stage experience was 2 weeks ago, and I was so nervous I played covers. You
Mm.
know, I was like, I did a Portuguese song that's kind of, you know, it's a fancy cover, but yeah.
The
that
latest
was
song,
just-
that one.
It is a beautiful song. Do you know it? Agua de Marco. It's
No.
the song for mullumbimby. It means the waters of March.
Ah,
Yeah, it means
Mm.
the floods.
wow.
Agua del Marco.
Yeah. Perera no campo, tu mama será, camga, cambe, elma tipo perera, elma deram de vento, tu mama será, mistério profundo. It goes like that, but I've actually realised that magpies love it. They
Magpies.
love that melody. Yeah.
The
'cause
football team,
I'm
Magpies.
I'm a no, not
Collingwood.
Collingwood loves it.
I've got
So true.
I've got some magpie friends, a birdie friends.
Mm.
They're so personable, magpies.
Well, magpies are meant to have the most sophisticated song of any bird on the planet.
Mm.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
believe that. They're
And they
just the
love
most.
the melody of that Portuguese song.
Mm.
And they sing along with it. It's beautiful.
Birds love music.
I think we should make that song
I got
the
the most.
jingle for this podcast.
Mm.
Oh yes,
For the
we could do
foreseeable
that.
future. Mm.
Yeah.
I left my guitar in the car.
Well, we can fix that.
Oh,
Mm.
thanks for telling me it was a
Mm.
left-hand driveway because I really wanted to do the circle.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
3 left-hand turns and you're
Come
right.
on,
That's
easily
right.
just, you know. Surprised to see you here. I thought you'd be a little bit late. You were here before
You were going to call me, weren't you?
I was going to
Doesn't
give you
matter,
I
doesn't
forgot
matter.
to give
It's
him a
okay.
reminder call.
I-
And you didn't need
I
it.
reminded myself anyway. How clever.
Yeah.
Eh?
Well,
He was here at 1:30.
I've been
It was
rehearsing
perfect.
today. I've been
Have you?
rehearsing my street show with Andy McGlone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Can
and
you-
so he plays the harp, the upright harp.
Yeah, right. Because this is a new show that you're developing at the moment.
That's right. It was sort
Awesome.
of based on Kate Bush.
Andy McLean's the most polite Scotsman I've ever met. He only says fuck every 4th word.
Yeah, he's got a very
That's all.
dry
Every other
sense
word.
of humour.
He's this dry Glaswegian.
Yeah, he's in his late 60s now.
He's been in the late 60s.
Long,
Mm.
long grey hair. He's got that rock and roll. You could really do the leaf blower guitar solo with Andy McGlone. Yeah.
From Glasgow.
Yeah, it was the
From
first.
fucking
verse.
Glasgow.
I'm just talking about myself, really. They're nice shoes, aren't they?
Thank you, love.
Mine are flood stricken.
Oh, yeah, he's been for the flood.
It's good to see you with shoes on. It's unusual.
What's that time of
Damiana.
year, you know?
Yeah.
Mushroom.
But maybe tell us about your show. Like you told me a little bit about it last night. It
Oh,
sounds
did I?
absolutely fascinating.
I just don't. I feel like it's after last night. I was on such a high,
Yeah.
and it
Cool.
wasn't just because of playing the songs. It was just feeling so comfortable to address an audience, you know, and just to speak and be me. And I thought.
Mm.
And Andy McGlone phoned me today. He returned a call from a couple of days ago. He's a bit traumatised, but I said, "Look, Andy." He had a car incident with his son's car, and he was a bit upset. Blew it up. Anyway,
Oh.
I said, "Look, let's go and do this busking thing." And he's like, "Oh no, we got to rehearse. Like, come down now." And I'm like hungover, thinking, "Oh, can't we do it another time?" He's like, "No, come down now and meet my daughter before I take her to the
Oh,
airport."
Haley.
Piper.
Oh, Piper.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Piper's lovely, and I met
My
her
son had a crush
today.
on her.
Well,
Mm.
it's
That-
understandable.
that went out.
She's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
Yeah, they were beautiful young 16, 17-year-old kids together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Understandable in both directions. But
Understandable. Sorry.
imagine if you
I
were
should have silenced her.
co-grandparents together.
Oh my God.
Codependent
Things
grandparents.
could happen, couldn't they? Anyway, so Andy McGlone plays the harp, the stringed harp, like the old-fashioned harp.
Wow. Yeah.
And because I've done a lot of street performing, and
How about just take the bag over there?
no, who is it? Oh, it's Nick Nicholas.
Later.
He's a performer. He's a magician.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He does cups and balls. He cups his balls.
Cups his balls.
I mean,
Cups his balls.
That's a fresh one.
Well, I can juggle two
I'm gonna
balls, but that's
silence
about as
that.
far as I can go.
isn't that some sort of strange shallow
Two balls
technique?
in one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, two balls in
You're
one
not the first
hand.
person to do it, you know. It's less original than you think.
In fact, I can juggle them with no hands.
Exactly. If he told you he invented it, he's stretching it a bit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, if you invented two balls in one hand, no. That goes
No,
back.
no.
That goes back before the wheel.
Look,
Yeah.
pictures of Roman walls of just that thing, you know, in Pompeii and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really keen. Sorry, you were going to tell us about your show.
The show,
Yeah.
yeah. So he plays the harp, and he wanted to see what the disciplines or stunts or art forms that I wanted to present in this particular show, so that he could get a feel for the rhythm and he's done quite a lot of theatrical stuff. He was a ringmaster for some twisted circus show. Woohoo.
Wow.
I'm going to be all right to drive up.
You're gonna be great. You'll be.
Oh,
Woo, oh my god.
this
Yeah,
camera.
one.
So
Yeah.
Oh, it's all.
idea.
So I'm going to interrupt. It's all
Yeah.
It's all non-alcoholic.
It's all non-alcoholic.
So we call this the placebo bar. So it's all. And Ananda, once you finish your story, Ananda's going to
Yeah.
give us an amazing rundown of the magic that he's putting into all these
Change your name
drinks.
to Professor
So-
Placebo Domingo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna imbibe it and then hear the story and narrate,
Yeah.
which is quite a different way around it.
Different
It's
way.
like if you give someone acid and then you tell them what it's like after they've had it, you know, or something.
Yeah.
I imagine what it would be like if I did have acid, just
Mhm.
because of the films, you know, they portray these things on
Yeah.
Fantastic Fungus.
This.
Like fear and loathing in
This.
Lost.
Actually, I'll let you do.
Well,
Let
no.
you-
Let's hear from Ananda first. Then
Yeah,
it
let's
sounds
hear
like that's
from
what you're
Ananda.
requesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, you know, people like to take acid
Mm.
to get the same effects as what I can bring here
Oh yeah.
by allowing the body to come back to its homeostasis, first of all. Now, a lot of these medicines, people say, I felt like I was stoned. And I say, yeah, that's because you felt yourself in your nature. And a lot of people haven't felt themselves in their nature, somewhat all of their life.
Mm.
Wow. I'm
So
getting
when-
worried now.
When you come back to your true state of being, you feel
You're
high.
incredibly flexible, right now.
I see, do I? Look at that.
Is that part of the effects?
Absolutely, love. Come on, Frankie, give it. He can hardly reach his elbow, his ankle.
It's working.
It's working.
Could be Siamese twins.
We're gonna
Is
punk
that
it
right?
out.
God.
Out of
I stand on
the
your head.
automata.
You
You stand on my head.
You can stand on it.
I reckon
Well, Susie told me she was doing that before. What, you standing on people's heads and juggling or something?
Standing on their shoulders.
Oh, on their shoulders. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, sorry, I've interrupted, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be my true nature that it's bringing it out. How long does it take to work?
It's pretty much instant.
Yeah.
There's no. It's because
I feel
a lot of it's vibrational.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. See, the base of it is this
Right.
one,
It can't have a
Mosmus.
price tag on it.
Kind of. Shouldn't have a price
It's got to
tag
go
on it.
off, like it's just, it's low at the tone.
I went to the op shop. I went to the op shop this morning. Bought like $10 worth of glasses, which is about 12 glasses from the op shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
come to my storage shed.
It's
Where's
good
my
glass,
sign?
man. This is a
Furniture.
good thick glass. Nicely made.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good glass.
I'll take a couple of falls.
Yeah, they'll take a couple of falls.
Especially on this
On,
floor.
I like this floor.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
forgiving. We
I
can-
like it. I'm going to set my
Drop
trailer up
something
with a
there.
floor like this.
Yeah, good. Anyway,
Yeah,
back to the
yeah.
back to the magic.
Back to the
Back to
magic.
Ananda's magic. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay, well, so the base of it is this Mosmus, the power of the ocean, we call it, because it starts as seawater. We just collect seawater on high tide, and on the incoming high tide,
Mm-hmm.
because on the incoming high tide, the ocean vibrates at a negative, in a negative phase. As soon as it turns tide into a positive phase.
Waxing gibbous moon.
Pardon?
Moon, yeah, sorry, the moon part of that?
No, the moon. We've tried full moons,
Mm.
dark moons.
Mm.
Don't
Didn't
trust
matter
the
a
moon.
difference.
I don't know
No, but
about
it's
the
the
moon.
it's the
Incoming
in
tide.
tide and the out tide.
You're right.
So we get it on the incoming tide as high as possible, or any time as it's rising, and then we charge that water with a 0-point energy cell. Yep. Same cell that they fly spaceships with. Anti-gravity technology is what we mess around with.
Anti-gravity technology.
Yep.
No wonder I feel like I'm floating.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Upside down.
It brings us back to 0 point.
More levity, less gravity.
Yes. Yeah. More consciousness. See, consciousness flows between the cells in our body. But if we're heavy, it's slow
We're too conscious of our consciousness.
or unconscious of our consciousness.
Or concentrating on our consciousness.
There's all manner of greatness we can come up with on our consciousness. Especially when you've had a few of these.
Oh, I think I can only have one. I got it. This strong urge to get up. So
I'm feeling
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Feeling what?
Very well.
Yes, it's
I'm feeling
these.
well.
The
Mm,
present company is very elevating as well, but there's a totality of the situation.
yeah.
That's because we're low down and we're looking at the elevated personalities. And
Oh.
they come up to your level. Well,
So in this
So
one,
we've
I've put a bit of Damiana and some mushroom fort.
oh yeah.
Mushroom fort, brain food, neurological patterning. It has it all. Has all that neurological order, firing orders, the whole show. So brings us into alignment. Again, offering back the homeostasis of our true being by recognizing, allowing the brain to refunction in its neurological order.
So many of us are
I've
homeless
been
in our
feeling mental.
homeostasis.
Homostasis.
Homeless status.
Yes.
We're all in a bit of a homeless stasis.
At the
Oh,
moment.
you've all caught up to me. I've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah, that's right. You're the same.
I've
Yeah.
I've spent more time in buses and vans and cars than I have in houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I recognise you from the truck stop.
You could have, yeah,
At the truck stop.
yeah.
My number plate
Thank you at
CWA.
the truck stop.
You know what's really interesting is
CWA.
that
Come to
since I've been, like I owned being no fixed address and put it on my license, you know, and they want you to give you a friend's license, friend's address. They go, oh, you've got a friend, you could put their address down. I'm like, well, that would be a lie.
Yeah, exactly.
So they, instead of printing my address, they printed my last known address, and then on the computers comes up no fixed address. But it is interesting for that. Since I've done that, I've driven through all these roadside breathalyzers, and they just waved me through. And I think, what's going on? If I tested positive, then I'd have to live there, wouldn't I?
What?
I
Where you
couldn't
got?
drive my car, and I live in my car.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's something like that, or maybe that's just the CWA thing, but I have never been pulled over. I get waved through. When you think you're going to get pulled over. Just saying, I don't know. But
I think the force is with you.
The force is with you. Bloody is at the moment.
Yeah.
It is with this
That
gear.
is
isn't
good
it?
stuff. Is there anything else in here? Anything else? You
The
want to mention?
droids you see.
So yeah. Anyway, the Mosmos is where it all comes from.
the ocean stuff.
Yep. As we turn it in, we take it from salt water, and it only takes somewhat of 30 seconds to a minute to drop all the salt out. It's
Yeah.
sweet water
Yeah.
all of a sudden, and the minerals all sink to the bottom.
Is this, can I just ask, is it pre-flood or post-flood?
Ah,
Salt water.
yeah. Look, we collect water when the ocean's clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So you haven't really been out there since the flood?
Nah.
No, oh,
No.
phew. You know, I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
It did
But you did.
Yeah.
cross my mind.
Yeah. The next thing,
Garage floor.
the next thing we'll be doing is in a boat, and we'll go way out to get our water. But the other thing is too, we can bring dirty water in,
And clean up.
clean the water out, clean the dirt out of it first,
Yeah.
and then do this treatment. We've got the technology to actually drop the dirt out. We collected water at Byron once, and we tried to turn it into mosmos, see how it's cloudy white, and it just turned it brown. And my old matey went, where'd you get the water? I said, Byron. He went, there's a pipe that goes for 1.5 kilometres out, and they drop all their shit. That's where the sewage is.
Yeah,
awful.
1.5 kilometres off the most easterly point of Australia, where the currents come through and take it.
Wherever they
So
go.
anyway, we're on high tide, thinking high tide, full moon,
Yes. Oh, how
thinking we're going to get the glorious water.
And you got the shit water.
And we took it and it just turned it brown. And he said, look, just you boys go and I'll treat this. And anyway, he's got a different cell that he treats it with, and it drops all the dirt out and all the mud and muck and all sorts, whatever. Once he topped it off, on the bottom, you wouldn't believe how much gunk came out of a bucket full of seawater.
Oh
You
my
did no idea
goodness.
how much gunk is in that water out there in Byron.
And it does have a bad energy, I've noticed. Byron
It's-
Bay.
It's been
Trees are
bastardised.
dying.
Yep.
That national park, particularly behind your old place, behind the high school.
Is that a rock wall?
They've hammered it with Roundup, and this B2 bush, Warren B2 bush, but they're going around the base of these Banksy trees every couple of months, doing the heavy Roundup or glyphosate, whatever you want to call it. And I went for a walk there last week or the week before, and it said it was closed. And somebody had moved the sign, and I went for a little wander in anyway, and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, you can feel it, can't you? It's just
It's dying, and the
terrible.
birds are traumatised. There was a wallaby traumatised, and
Wasn't the flood?
well, that didn't get flooded there. Maybe a little bit at the first start of it might have, but
It did a bit.
did it?
well,
Like right up on the sand
not so much
dune?
flooded, but
No.
just inundated. Just this massive volume of water washing everything away. Hard for birds to hold nests and
Yes.
critters to stay in there.
I think the trees have been weakened though by the practices that they're doing in national parks. And when I went to Broken Headland a couple of months ago, it was heartbreaking. Like where it used to be so thick and lush, all that cotton tree stuff, you know, they planted that, it was all thick and lush, and then now you can just see it's all being cleared, and that was just
yeah, it's horrifying what they've done.
It is.
But we do have the technology. Honestly, this same technology that I'm talking about here, we got the technology to clean up the waters of the world. Tailing dams that are full of arsenic and cyanide. We can drop this cell in that water and drink it. From deadly poison to sweet drinking water in just a minute. It's
See,
here.
I trust drinking my own urine more than drinking water
From
a tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ocean of your body. Isn't it interesting that they say the ocean makes up 70% of the world, and our bodies are 70% water as well.
same gig.
And there's nothing dangerous about drinking urine if you can't drink water.
No,
I did
that's
feel a bit of an
kept people alive.
obligation to actually ring up AFM when people were stranded and talk about urine therapy for people's wounds or whatever. But
I never put anything else in a wound other than my own urine. And when I went surfing, I was surfing in the tropics. My son, who's a hotshot surfer, took me on a surf trip, and I was a little bit of out of my league, you know, weight for age and all. And the first wave I caught, I just cartwheeled over a reef.
Cartwheeled over
Slashed
a
my back.
reef.
No one there to do stitches, probably had 7 stitches across my back, and pulling up bits of coral and shit like that. And they got all the boys are handing me this sort of this strange, you know, antibacterial creams. They go, "Now, boys, urinating." They go, "Oh, you've got to fucking they'll be festering by the morning." I put the urine on me. I was dried up by the next morning. I could see it by the
it's amazing.
next afternoon. I never we were there for a few weeks. Within a week, everyone had dropped their fucking gut and this shit and was you. And the locals had said, that's why we do it, we always done it this way.
Yeah, you can use your own urine
The locals,
because it's attuned.
you
It's
can finally realise
it's
that.
in phase with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everything's
Yeah, yeah.
filtered through there, and I think it's homeopathic as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, even mainstream medicine uses it. Like, I know, I had a friend, this is like 30 years ago now, he had eczema or something, and they made him drink his own urine, and it pretty much
did they?
sorted it
Wow,
out.
that's a first.
Absolutely
because
sorted it
Yep.
out.
They're
I also,
isolating.
sorry?
Oh, I was just saying, well, urea is in all the creams,
Mm.
and that's
Which is
predominant.
urine, just condensed
And-
urine.
And
Yeah,
also, there's a guy who came up with healing people of cancers, and he's been taken through the ringer since
That's
the
it.
90s, and he isolated something from urine,
Dr.
and it was called
Polish name.
phenyl something amide or whatever it was. I'm sorry, I can't remember it.
Anti-neoplastins.
But
And
anti-neoplastins, very good.
Jersey
Frankie
Krasinski.
knows
Yeah,
Look at
go
being
Frank.
brain
Yeah,
on
Frankie with the win.
Dr. Jerzy Kaczynski,
Very good. Oh my
very-
god,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is exactly him.
very reputable Polish doctor, went to the United
yes,
States, had great success with urine therapy in Europe, which you learned from India. And he travelled around looking for healing things to do, but
Yeah.
like a real philosophical doctor, proper alchemist, a proper healer does.
Mm.
Not stuck in some sort of paradigm of profit that pharmaceuticals drive. So he took all this in, and he's a PhD in medicine, not just a
Not just
doctor.
a layman.
And he said the best therapy for cancer was urine therapy, and he was having 90% remissions in
Yeah,
cancer
yeah.
on urine therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Having said that, a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, was dating this guy who he lived in Ocean Shores or something. She only and he had a regular practice every day drinking 1 cup of his urine.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 months, she broke up with him because she just said
Stunk.
he just sweated and stunk of his own urine, and she couldn't handle it
She
anymore.
didn't cop it.
That's passion because
Yeah.
his urine needs purification. You want to do that all the time. If you do that all the time, you have to have really good urine. Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
have
I was gonna
meat
say
and
you-
coffee
Yeah.
and
It's good for your
tobacco,
skin.
it'll make it really bitter and stinky.
Yeah.
It's
If you
that's
have
a
a lot
really
of
good thing
coconut
for your
water.
skin, but
Ah.
it soaks in.
You know, you get homeopathic style. If the likes of this,
Wow.
it's a superconductor, you see.
Yeah, right.
You'd put 2 mil of urine in a cup like that, and you would expand that urine.
Can you hold the cup?
The effect.
And you
Yeah, this is
No.
quite a different
No.
event.
No, I can't hold the
Not
cup.
the conversation they signed up for, was it?
But that's the beauty of this. I've got products now we've turned into homeopathics. The same way they make homeopathics on bioresonance equipment.
Yeah.
We put a jar of this onto the onto the bioresonance equipment and send in the frequencies into it, and it supercharges those frequencies, and we are getting results 10 times to the power of all other homeopathics. And I'm mixing
Wow.
all manner of different types of herbs together, and I've got
Yeah.
4 products now that I'm about to publish. Brain tonic, antiviral, we call it Shikimate. Yeah,
That's
Shikimate.
cute. It's like a cheeky latte.
The cheeky latte.
Monkey.
Cheeky latte.
Yeah.
Cheeky monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheeky monkey virus. Oh no. That's the answer.
Oh no.
The cheeky monkey box.
Monkeypox.
Cheeky monkeypox.
New breakfast cereal.
I love it.
Oh.
Called
Shikimate.
Didn't that just pop out of nowhere?
yeah, the-
You know, I was reading the mainstream news with my friend Nikki,
I
and
like
we went
cheeky
into
latte.
it when the first, it was Channel 9 or something, and they really mainstream. And you read down, go further down into it, and it said the first cases of monkeypox were found on test monkeys in the laboratory. I don't know if that information's still there.
It's
yeah,
just
you
so
read these
classic.
things and you can't unread them.
You can't unread them. No, that's
no,
right.
you can't. So it's
No.
probably better not to read them. Yes, just relax.
So yes, much fun, and
So are you mixing
Life du jour.
a specific dose all the time? Or are you doing like the mad scientist and just feeling it?
just here I am.
Yeah.
But in my the product that I'm about to release, we're finalised on how much of goes on. I work with some really amazing kinesiologists, and we muscle test everything. We do workshops. We really, really work into what we've got going on. And it's all so exciting.
Because
It's
people
amazing.
have a lot of variables. There are a lot of variables from individual to individual. What state they're in, what sort of
Yep.
headspace they're in, or their diet, or
Yep.
conditions and things.
Yep.
So
So what I'll give to you there is this has an intelligence. Okay, it's an intelligence. It's already fifth dimensional frequencies. So we're yet to live into this. It's higher frequencies and higher consciousness than we can actually perceive already. It's an entity all of its own. So anything I do with that and give it to you, I give it to you with a blessing, and it will self-arrange itself to suit you. What do you need? It will give you exactly what, it'll arrange itself. It's got everything it needs in it to magnify or arrange
align
and align.
might be out of alignment.
Exactly. So that's the game, the beauty of this. We call it Golden Age Elixir.
Yeah.
The Golden Age Elixir. It's for the new age. For the Golden Age.
The age of
I'm ready,
Aquarius.
I'm ready. I'm ahead of this game.
Age of Aquarius. Yeah, and your hair's even turning golden. That's amazing. That's
Be
amazing.
right.
And what about intentions? Do your clients work with intentions with this, or?
Intentions on my behalf are very important. Being the custodian of this product, no one else in the world does this. No one else can do it with this cell. There's only one man in the world that can operate that cell, and it's not even me. I can't operate the cell. It's my mate. He's a living Tesla.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I won't say that.
yeah. Not while we're on this. We'll publish him soon. It's almost time. We'll bring him out. We've had cars hovering off the ground the whole show. Yeah, there's nothing he can't do. So the intention behind it has to be pure. You've got to be of a pure soul to operate this and to work this. So me being the custodian, first of all, I'm like so honoured to be able to work with it and to be chosen by my Tesla mate as the only person that he actually says, you're the only one that's pure enough to even work with this. So he's been at me for 15 years about how to become the cell.
Right.
Yeah. He says, you won't be able to operate that cell there until you become the cell. The technology is in us.
Yeah.
The new age technology is coming to us. It's inside of us.
Yeah, that camera's just auto switching off for
It
some
doesn't
reason at
matter,
the
the
moment.
sound is still.
Yeah, it sounds good. But Sandy just has to turn it back on every 10 minutes.
All right.
Time's out.
As say as the sounds of the industry next door.
The sounds of industry.
Yeah. It's all part of it. It's all.
People are lost without power tools.
It's all part of the carefully crafted aesthetic of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
It's called the authentic touches, you know.
And in
Real blokes doing real jobs out the back.
Real blokes doing real jobs. Yeah, out the back. Not in here.
Where you find all this wealth of information? In the mud.
Man,
where does the lotus grow?
yes, mad.
But this whole thing, there's two kind of pilots going on here, or prototypes going on here. There's the pilot of this podcast, and we're going to see what it develops into.
Oh,
And
this is the pilot. This is the very first.
this is the very first. Yeah.
Oh, I should have made more of an effort.
No, you look gorgeous.
Yeah, no.
No, your indifference
No,
was
I
perfect.
could have prepared.
Yeah, no.
and said, oh, I know I would.
But that's
No,
the
but
beauty
this is
of
the
it.
whole point. We don't need to prepare because you are an amazing being, and
the
you
words
just
of the
walk
song.
in here and shine your amazing light.
And all I gotta do
Yeah,
is act naturally.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Act naturally.
Well, you know, we call this oxymoron. Like,
Oxymoron.
I've never thought of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Act
Naturally.
Naturally.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oxymoron.
I like Foxy Moron.
Yeah.
It's been done.
You've been done.
Has it?
Yeah, I think Kath and Kim came out with the Foxymoron.
Did they?
They would.
They came out
Bloody
with the
Kath and Kim,
Foxymoron.
what a classic.
Yeah.
But what was your nurse?
Oh, Nurse Perverse.
Nurse Perverse.
Yeah, it's such a tacky name. I actually was doing a show with a guy I'd met in England, and he turned up in Byron Bay. He had Swervey World Theatre there, and he was a musician. And I just love their music, so I was doing my hoop act with them. And every time I walk past with my hoops, they'd play a song and I'd do some hoops with them. And he turned up in Byron Bay maybe 20 years ago, and he had pink hair and a lab coat on, and it's a sign that said Dr. Swervey. And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm in Fresh Cafe or wherever it was in Byron." And came down to the Global Festival in Bellingen, and that's where we worked a little bit of an idea. I mean, he was playing music. And then we went up to West End Festival, and while we were driving up there, he said, "Look, I don't want to just be a musician, you know, I want to actually do something." And I went, "Well, dream it up, Dr. Swervey, and we'll put it in the show." And 5 k's down the road, he says, "I want to explode a tomato off your head."
Was that like a euphemism, or was that like?
I don't know. I was like, "Well, where are you going to get firecracker gerbs? And I'm going to need a helmet." We were going to the street festival. No, that's out. And then a few k's further down the road, he said, "Do you think if I like pulled my pants down and just showed the top of my bum crack, and like if I put a banana in there, do you think you could whip it out with a whip?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but let's try it when we get to West End. We'll go to that park." It's Sunday, like lunchtime. There's people having picnics and stuff, and we just pour out of the car, and he puts the banana there, and I'm like, "Oh, you're too low. You've got to get up on something." So we stood on the park bench, and
You got a banana in his bum.
just whipped it out.
Right.
Yeah, we stopped. You know when you used to stop at
You let
the
banana-
Honesty fruit shop on
Yeah.
the way up to
Yeah.
Brisbane. So we got this whole big bunch of ladyfingers.
Ladyfingers, they call them.
And we performed that show about like 7 times
Lesbian
that day.
sisters.
But he had to get a wheelie bin and stand on the wheelie bin. But the last show, it was getting dark, and he had a light behind him. He was backlit, and it was the last little curly ladyfinger. And I was in this nurse costume, and it was so funny because I'm meant to be whipping him and being really hardcore. But I whipped him and I got him on the arse but didn't get the banana. And I was like, "Oh no, oh my God." And he's going, "Come on, do it again." And he's bossing me, and I'm like, "No, I don't want to." And he goes, "Do it again."
You got a bleeding ass.
Whipped him like so many times.
You give him another
I
arsehole.
felt terrible.
You get two more assholes.
And then we did one show at the Shannon Market, and we got banned.
What for?
Because there were no wheelie bins. There were no wheelie bins, so he came back from the gardening store with a ladder, an A-frame ladder, and he was just a few rungs down and a bit too far bent over. And I tell you what, like 400 people were just reeling on the ground. But at the end of the show, there was one woman, and she said, "I don't know how you sleep at night." And he was like, "Oh, I've got this banana." Anyway, I got banned from Shannon's for a little bit. Oh, nuts. Anyway, I thought I'd share
Shannon
that.
liked
That
a bit
was
like
where
that.
Nurse Perverse began. I've gone and tangented. And then, 10 years later, there was a women's festival, and Sue Hurd, our resident bearded lady, she can put her legs behind her head, and she's in her 60s now. But she wanted to do a show with me, and so we
is she related
thought,
to Amber
let's
Heard?
get you. No, she's not related to Amber Heard, but if she
Sure.
was, I'm sure that Amber would be getting electrolysis on that. But so we did I was actually lactating, and we did a show at the Women's Festival,
show?
the International Women's Day, and it was at Durumble Hall.
Wow, that's real
And
commitment.
I got heckled, and I had a breast full of milk, and I just unzipped my bowls dress and squeezed it. Went all over this crowd
Awesome.
on this side, and it rippled. The ripple of shock that went around the audience was fantastic.
Nurturing your audience.
Yes, but we decided to come up with that act because when you do variety in a small town, you often get asked to do a lot of stuff for like not much money. And we thought that'll just be so fun to do Nurse Perverse. So we did the music festival, and I just like crash all this stuff, and people think it's real actually. Which nuts are the nicest?
Mine.
Chef's salty chocolate balls.
Well, that was set up.
South Park.
I'd love to do Nurse Perverse again, but I don't think Sue Heard's up for it anymore. So her character name's Anaphylactic, and when I closed down my Facebook page 7 years ago, I made her a manager of Nurse Perverse. So Nurse Perverse is still up there. And now I've got a little page again, so I can contact
Fantastic.
my daughter. I'll get on there, but she's hopeless.
Why did you close down your Facebook?
Oh, I said something that wasn't too derogatory, but I was banned for 3 days,
Oh.
and I just felt like it had no substance, and I changed my life to living a more nomadic, no fixed address, and the computer wasn't serving me. I didn't enjoy how it felt sitting at a computer anyway. Which is why I haven't been doing many gigs, because I don't promote myself on the internet. I mean, I tried to have a secretary, Georgie in Melbourne, you know Georgie. I ring up and go, can you check my emails, and if there's anything I need to do, just ring me.
But you were an international travelling performer.
Yeah.
Doing stage, song, acrobatics.
Doing hula hoops was,
Hula hoops.
well, I did a lot of things, and when I went over to Amsterdam and started doing my street show, I was doing ball juggling, contact juggling, fire juggling.
The concert performance.
I was getting volunteers out of the audience and doing handstands on the hula hoops and balancing the wine bottle stack, all in one show. And hula hoops. And when I got to Amsterdam, I was
And cracking jokes all the way through.
Yeah.
Cracking jokes all the way.
Yeah, I was performing and the
Amazing.
lights are playing, and the other performers said, "You don't know why you're doing all the juggling and stuff. Like the hoops are amazing. We haven't seen hula hooping before." I couldn't believe it. I was the first one
There's about
Wow.
50 hula
to
hoops.
do street performing
Arms,
as
legs.
a solo street performer doing hula hoops. So I just got forced into thinking, well,
When you see Susie doing hula hoops, it makes you understand how the solar system works. How the galaxies works, how toroids and spheroids and spin effects. She's the ultimate
Spin effects.
but I was happy to share my skills, and there was another hula hooper, Judith Lanigan, and she was performing in a double act, and hula hoops was part of hers, but it was the Aussie chicks that took it to the world via Karina Oates, and she was performing with Rock and Roll Circus, and they got to go to China, and she came back with this hoop show. Anyway, history of hula hoop cut short.
Nice.
So I actually went to 15 countries and taught other performers to hula hoop, and yeah, I could get a Wikipedia page. They written to me and told me I could have a page because of my history of hula hoop.
Because you're a founder of hula hoopdom
Yeah,
around the globe.
There were all these questions. Why are people doing skilled hula hooping?
Wow.
Nobody could really answer it. And when I was writing a paper for the Arts Health Institute on the subject, I realised, oh my God, it was me. There was a band, except they threw some hula hoops on the ground, and then suddenly everybody could put their arms through and do all this, up and down stuff with hoops. But I just know because I taught other performers, and then they went out.
It's like watching celestial bodies going around the vortex. And
Yeah.
But he's got look like she's got 50 hula hoops on her
But it's
body,
only
arms
15.
and legs, and they're changing and she's dancing through them and doing this incredibly symmetrical dancing while the things keep spinning. You go, how can that be done?
Oh.
And you think it's sort of there's a key to the universe in there somehow.
Well, it was when I went on Hey Hey It's Saturday, and that footage I put on YouTube, and it was because of that validated that I had been performing in the 90s, in the mid-90s. that they actually went, oh yeah, she was actually, there's nobody that we can see before that.
Yeah, wow.
And
Is,
doing-
is there like a Hall of Fame or something? Or?
Well, yeah, because a lot
Or a
of
museum?
it went off in America. See, I went to Canada. South America was the first overseas country I saw hoops at, and that was in '95. Went to Europe and then I did Canada. So, but I didn't go to the States. So I came back here and had my baby, and everyone was going, "Oh my God, Susie, hula hoops has gone off. You wouldn't believe it. Like chicks, every chick on the street's got hoops." No, now I'm learning sword swallowing.
Are you?
Yeah, there's a joke there.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not touching
Because people do it.
practicing on cocks.
Oh, there's a good
Strange,
practice.
Good.
Her prerogative.
Yeah, no, for sure. Left that one for you.
Good on you.
Lollies.
You are terrible, Susie.
Would you want some more cashews? Would you like some nuts?
No, you don't.
Whoa.
This is great.
Yes,
Everything's warped.
it's
Your
a
perception.
Yes.
Everyone.
Anyway, blah blah.
it's just
Without me.
it's a lift,
Mm.
and like I say, it'll bring you more into the homeostasis of your true nature.
Mm.
And people say, "I feel stoned." Yeah, that's because you've never felt your true nature.
Mm.
Oh, does it it's making me talk about myself too much. I think I'm just
That's okay. That's
too much of a Leo.
But that's what
Yeah.
we're here to do today.
Yeah,
So like,
Frank.
Yeah,
yeah.
talk about Frank. So ask Frank an embarrassing question.
How did you get
6.
in 6?
6 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the nun? Oh, we won't talk about that. Will we talk about the nun? No. No, that's too close to the bone.
Stop.
Pun intended.
You're terrible,
No,
Susie.
sorry. When was your first performance? Was that 6?
Grade 5. No, grade, was it?
Oh,
The age of 5 or 6. No, when I first met my mate, Dude Walsh, it was, this is the guy who was told to go home and die. The bloke that we talked about before, and then the bloke we talked about before, the obese chap with the doctor. The doctor said, go home and die.
What did the doctor say?
Go home and die. And I said, don't comply. Why? Well, we're going to die anyway, so why pay him? If I can round it off at this stage. Anyway, so old mate was the funniest fucker I ever met. Brian Moll, dude. He was innately comical. Something, he exuded comedy about him. And in school everyone laughed. He was a class clown.
Clear class clown.
And I was always the apprentice. I was the straight man. That's how it worked out. He was a lovely guy, and yeah, he just sort of, you had to sort of be rude while not seeing objectionable. So like, excuse me, sir, but, and then say something completely, ludicrous. He was, but he was
polite.
He was polite but hilarious, and
Yeah. That's enough. That is a life skill.
yeah, yeah. He was
There's that mix.
I went to
The polite.
You can just
he introduced me
3
to
or 4
opposite
drops
sex.
under the tongue.
Oh, okay.
He said, you go up to me, you go like this.
Blaze.
Purple blaze.
You go like this.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
Say that
Did
again.
it
No,
work
no.
for you?
it's never failed me.
Sorry, say that again.
They
Frank, I
told me,
missed that.
and when we were about 6 years old, he told me how sex happened. I'm going, you put me on. You put it in that thing. No, the girls piss out. Oh, no way. It's the navel, mate. It's the navel. Girls' navels open up and swallow up guys' pennies. He's gone.
No wonder you became such a navel gazer.
Did he tell you how to get the sex?
He said you go up to a girl and you look at them like this, you go like that. And that should do it.
And that should do it.
Try it. Give it a go. Give it a
No,
go.
I laughed.
It's a bit late for that. Yeah, no. It regularly worked.
It regularly works.
Usually, but yeah.
Few missing teeth.
Yeah. A few extra glosses were put on over time, but fundamentally, I've never really resolve from that position, you know.
That's as sophisticated as your seduction technique is.
Layers of eloquence and flowers and roses and shit, but fundamentally, that's
Right.
a fundamental signal, you know.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
like that. That's what you're really saying. That's what we're all really saying, isn't it? You can make poetry of it and take them to dinners and this sort of thing. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Or I'm wrong.
I think we should street.
So shouldn't we?
We should street
That's
test
right,
it.
do I? No, that's not right.
We'll get 2 cameras, walk down Main Street, Mullen.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, 15 girls, and
Yeah.
we'll get a percentage.
Yeah.
Oh, you better be careful.
Numbers
No
game.
one calls the police.
Oh.
This is that blend. This is that blend.
Purple blaze.
Purple blaze.
And my eyesight's usually really bad, but I can see that quite clearly.
We'll see, everything's coming back into
Focus.
Alignment.
focus.
It is. Oh my goodness, it's working. Is it working? Is it
Is it
hot?
coming on yet?
Oh, it's
Oh, thanks, mate. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. 2 or 3 drops
Yeah.
under the tongue.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Oh, is that
You can have it.
Yeah.
really?
She's getting
Yeah,
an more effect from it
So, when should I consider having this?
right now.
Well,
Well, I've already had some.
Yeah.
And that's
you could, if you did that,
a few drops.
pretty much
That's right.
first thing
I
in the
missed one.
morning.
I'm out. That's right.
You could do that in the morning,
And what
and
is
it could set your day just nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So if my day's already set just nicely,
It'll be even
then
better.
I'll be fine.
You'll
I
get
won't
to know,
need to.
because it's an intelligence all of its own,
Mm.
your intuition will know, and you'll know when. It's a little party gig, you know. It's got a
Oh.
Damiana hit and all to it, so
Oh, okay.
it's like, you know, it's got a bit of
It's got a bit of.
Dancing
diddly da.
Damiana. Get the dame to dance with Damiana.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you know, I've been enjoying finding out who I am.
Yep. And when you go to a
Just
party,
being
take
me.
it and give a
It's
couple
not
of drops.
being enhanced.
Even 2 or 3 drops in other people's drinks, rather than don't spike their drinks
Don't spike
without
the-
them knowing,
With consent.
without consent.
Spike protein here.
Yeah.
Spike protein. But it's a lovely
They're allowed to
one.
do that. We come to that spike
You can't overdose on it. It's got its peak, and that's it. And then you can just ride there. You can ride there all night. We've
Oh,
taken
okay.
this to parties, and the straightiest 180s go, okay, I'll try that. They have it and go, that's amazing. What are you doing?
Open mic night next Tuesday.
You do it.
See what my set's like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
offer it to everyone in the audience
Purple
as well.
haze, purple blaze going through my brain.
Yeah.
And I think it's aligning me to be sane.
Yeah.
Acting silly and I wonder why.
That's it.
Excuse me
So,
while I kiss some guy. Excuse me, I've just got to.
There's a couple of guys
Yeah,
there.
go, do you know where the ladies is?
Where are the ladies?
I'll come and I'm going to go to the gents. So
It's the same place actually.
There's the key.
It's a question of mentality.
yeah.
The key?
It's next to each other.
Mm.
No, it'll be open, won't it? We'll take the key.
Oh, okay.
There's the key.
Oh, this key.
And you're welcome to get your
Got the ladies.
guitar at the same time if you like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I get my bag.
We'll just hold the 40, will we?
yeah, we'll just hold the 40.
And did you say xylophone?
Oh,
I'm just
well,
going out to get another bottle.
that's
You're holding on your own for a moment?
That'll be good.
All
Frank,
there's 2 is.
entertain everyone.
Okay. I'll do my impersonation of a meditating monk. Nah, there's never my best impersonation. Well, I am technically homeless, but not without a place to sleep. The flood took away the van, and I was kicked out of my place where I was living over after many years, which is itself it's a great problem. But then the flood happened, and the place I was moving to was inundated, and then there was 20,000 people looking for a place to stay in a market that was already saturated from the plague market. 60,000 people had come from the cities, mainly from Sydney and Melbourne, with the old plague, and there's only 60,000 people in the entire area, pretty much. Well, there's about 30,000 in Byron Shire, and I think 40,000 invisible. So yeah, about 75,000 people inhabit the area, and 60,000 from Sydney were looking to move in up here, either to buy or to rent. About like even prior to the floods,
Yep.
the plague had set this exodus of people into the into the towns and villages.
Yeah.
So they're going to turn the towns and villages into cities. They're not seeing that stay where you are and fix up your own packs rather than abandoning there and coming and bringing a problem to here.
Yeah, that's what they do. They bring their bloody problems with them.
Yeah.
It's not on.
Stop them from overdeveloping your suburbs and getting into
Yeah. That's it, mate.
little sweet old, bungalow homes that on the leafy North Shore, and they're being turned into bloody massive skyscrapers.
Yeah.
It's just-
Where was that toilet? Where were those toilets?
Basically there, so you go round and
Around that way.
Yeah.
Across there.
across the road, yeah.
When
Across
Mike
the
says
lane.
left, he means 3 right hands.
and the other
They're
way.
trying to get you to have a dervish experience. But we got here nonetheless.
We got here nonetheless, completely.
Wherever here is.
Hey, I'll show you. Let's see. I reckon the video will be good, but I don't know about the sound.
Is it should we really be doing this right now while we're filming?
I don't know. Why not?
Yes, they can just cut it out anyway. But it seems like a,
Oh, where's it gone?
oh my god.
This is Frank's what did the doctor say performance last night.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said.
That's what the doctor said.
Yeah. Go home, get into bed, you'll soon be dead. That's what the doctor said.
Brown bread.
Brown bread.
There's a few brown breads going on. You know what?
The gluten-free diet doesn't cut the mustard. He's got too many beers and pies and sausage rolls and custard.
Yeah, you know what? It came up with an error at the end saying not enough. Here you go. This is some dude at the Oka open mic,
Oh yeah.
really early on in COVID, right?
Oh yeah.
And his daughter, like, her dream came true. She got
Wow.
a scholarship to a university in Canada
Wow.
to study whatever.
If
But then she had to get
the spike.
the spike, the jab,
Mm.
2, 3, 4 times. And so she was just torn between, she didn't want the spike, but she wanted her dream.
Yeah.
And this is the protest song he wrote about it.
I wonder what she did.
I don't know, yeah. I don't know either, because I never
Well,
saw him again.
I know what my boys did, or didn't do.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took that choice. Much to the chagrin of their
Don't know why.
mm,
Here we go. Found it. Why is there no sound?
colours with them.
Colour's great.
The reflections on the roof's great. Shows on the roof. I love Stan's stage orchestration.
Yeah. Can we show it? There you go. That's Frank performing last night at the Bungalow Pub. This is we've got the high-tech picture-in-picture technology here,
Let's get down.
but I don't know why there's no sound.
It's like
That's
watching
weird.
cavemen hitting themselves in the head with Apple computers.
The mute button. That does it every time.
Oh, that was last night.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Is that Frank?
Yeah. Great.
Oh, that was great. I loved that. That's what the doctor said. Oh, just let me play now. Oh, thank goodness. Look at that, there's me playing the tambourine.
Yeah, it's a flavour of Frank's complete admin.
Flavours. Classy DVs from that.
There you are now.
That H player.
It's just Dan's voice, it's not even mic'd up.
No, he's got a powerful voice.
That's my dad. Never forget it.
That was a cool group. Have you played that song, that tune before?
That was mad. That was mad. Absolutely that moment.
That was
That was
complete
beautiful.
ad lib. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Not one word was prefabricated. I went in with a complete blank mind
Yeah.
and just thought, what'll happen?
As normal.
That's all.
Yes. Go in with an empty mind and
Yeah,
fill the room
that's
with
it.
that empty mind.
Oh, out of the void comes the
That's so
void.
good. And really catchy. Yeah, and everyone's singing along.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
what the doctor said.
That's what the doctor said.
That's what the doctor said.
Go home and go to
That's
bed.
what he said. Yeah, yeah.
Long time dead. Calling the chosen people to.
Look at that. $5.
$5?
Ah,
$5 from the op shop. I was
That's
like,
it.
that's a bargain.
You just gotta have
How's
it.
it fit in the pot?
I think it's actually a horn that goes onto a rickshaw and it's got a.
Oh, wow.
But I got to see if I
The
can
rick
get
doesn't
a
matter.
thing. So I'll get a funny little mark if I take a ditch through it.
It's so good.
See, a girl can play a curly horn. Actually, when I was in Mornington Island, I was given a didgeridoo. So in some places you can. And the didgeridoo I was given had a picture of a woman dancing with fire, and it was this long and really skinny and hard to play.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but there's no problem with circular breathing through a circular horn. Anyway, there's that.
I just think you should do more circulating.
I thought that I didn't get the
Mm.
xylophone
Oh.
because I was a bit shit at the xylophone. Well, you know, I like to be a bit rehearsed. You don't want to play wrong note. So I thought I'd get my out of tune guitar. Can we swap on the couch?
Um,
How are you going with Purple Days?
yeah, I'm feeling
Particularly elevated.
see what though, I am feeling good. I mean, I've been feeling this weirdness for a long time. It's sort of tinnitus.
Yeah.
This background.
Oh, I got that in my ear really strangely.
Everybody's getting it. Everybody's getting it. And I
Yep.
think it's background. Yeah, I think so. And I think that's what makes us weak. And these tonics are what we need, man.
Yeah. There.
Resolve us against it.
Yep.
Give us some
This
fortitude.
brings us into phase
Mm.
with the new energies that are actually arriving to planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that actually puts us into the right vibration so that we can receive these energies and the tintiness stuff
Mm.
becomes less and less and less.
But there was a point where in Sydney it was like cicadas.
Yes,
It was
right,
just-
sure.
I mean, it wasn't just that sort of little irritating like a mosquito at night.
Yeah,
It was like fucking cicadas.
yeah. I've had the same.
Yeah. Even
Quite a few
around
years,
here I
actually.
hear it, but not like in Sydney, man. So, and I felt this
Yeah.
sort of constant sort of palpitations and a
Yes.
bit breathless.
It's like electricity.
And my
isn't it?
heart's a bit racy and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I shouldn't be like that. I mean, I'm not. I'm
No,
quite fit.
You're
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Most relaxed but really relaxed person.
Prolaxed.
I'm a prolapsed. I'm a prolapsed Catholic. I'm a prolapsed Catholic. We're hell away.
Yes. And did you get any visual visuals, like it's in the middle of the night, isn't it? When everything's quiet, but you really can hear it.
Yep, yep.
There's no distractions or a lot
Yeah.
of sound.
Yeah.
And then when you're closing your eyes, what I've noticed with it is that, you know, you get this residual light that moves around in your mind's eye.
You see the pattern, your mummy's.
And you can
you see
turn
the
it into
pattern.
faces, or you can move it and change it. And then I had an electric sort of thing come in, and it just vibrated everything. And I got worried. It was during the lockdown time, and I just remember getting these visuals of all these straight lines, and it wasn't really pretty geometric stuff. It was
Jagged and.
yeah. And then I realised I was underneath I was parked under like a big electricity thing.
Yep.
And I actually just jumped in the front of the car and drove to another sleeping venue. And
it
I
was
living,
different?
Yeah, and I was living in my car during lockdown, and I was still able to have picnics in the park because I'm no fixed address. So-
Everywhere's home.
Everywhere was home, and I felt really.
Because you're
blessed.
allergic to it?
I was no fixed address.
Oh, right.
I didn't have an address there. I
Yeah.
had to lock down in.
Yeah.
I just had my car, my number plate, where I was, and you know, I was still able to have picnics in the park.
Clever.
Yeah, well, it just worked out that way. I think I'd embraced homelessness before it actually really happened.
She's a homophile.
A homophile.
Oh no, homophobe.
No.
Did you used to date? Who's the guy that does a lot of work at the Mullumbimby Gardens and he wears skirts around
Oh, Roddy.
Mullumbimby? Roddy. Did you used to date Roddy?
Why are you asking me that? He's actually the father of my child.
That's what suddenly clicked in my mind. Yeah.
Did I meet you at the gardens, or did he talk about me?
No, you met me at the gardens. I now remember
Oh,
meeting you
okay.
parked outside the gardens because I used to be on the board of the community gardens.
Okay.
And I used to have a plot and I'd be there every day for
Yes.
2 or 3 hours in the mornings.
You're now a plotter.
I was
Yeah.
volunteering there for a while, doing the office, you know, just you get people, they say, oh, do you want to volunteer? And you go, are you a convict or a slave? And they're like, what? And I go, is it work for the doll or is it paying off your fine? And they go, oh, I'm a slave.
Working for the
Oh,
doll.
It
no.
actually, you can have a laugh there, but I had a plot and that was when
Let me
yeah,
go
when I
away from the
first moved
Mississippi. Let me go away from the white man, boss.
here. Yeah, so we have met.
Welcome to the
And I
Colony
was
Colony.
making a coffee or something out in the car park.
Yeah, something like that. But I was neither a convict or a slave. I actually
You had a
paid to
plot.
be there.
Yeah. Well, I paid
Free
to be there
settler, free
also.
settler.
Free settler. Oh yeah, colonial's
Yeah.
free settler.
I also had a plot there for until I got given the little tiny house which I'm moving out of now, and that was during COVID because I was parked up and everybody's walking suddenly, and I wasn't hiding the fact that I was living and sleeping in a certain area, and then I was awarded a block of land with a tiny house on it, so I've been there for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Awarded.
It's beautiful.
Like given or.
Yeah, just
or-
stay
It's
out.
an elevated.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
given
wow.
to me to own, but I was
Rural,
able to stay there. So I
trees.
started gardening that area and growing my food there in Bangalore. But
If we had
I saw there and I
1,000
had-
of them in town,
Look.
for people to come and go and stay in.
Oh, the
That's all we
tiny
need.
home.
Tiny
The
homes,
Yeah.
a little bit of land.
Well, this one's coming up for sale. It's only $2,000, but I looked into moving it, and I think it's very flimsy. It's going to fall apart. But maybe with building materials.
Talk to
being
Mike.
scarce-
Yeah, talk to me and talk to Frank
No,
because.
Mike particularly. If you talk to me, I'd say talk to Mike.
Oh,
Yeah. No,
Talk
hold on, talk to Frank.
to Frank.
Okay, Bro, what should I do about the tiny house, Frank?
Talk to Mike.
There you go.
Talk to me.
Proper
Yeah,
reference.
Yeah, cool.
Alright.
And guess
No.
what? He's right there.
I just don't know if it's going to move properly. The guy who moved it from one end of the street to the other said, and actually some of the boards have all sunk and it's moved, and the windows don't fit properly, it's not sealed, and it's gotten to me in the rain as well.
Yeah, no, but I'll have a look at it because
Can
Frank.
we have a look at it? Yeah.
What's up?
Nothing, keep going.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
You're
Brad.
up.
I'm up. Good. No, because Frank and I, this is so. I've been kind of working on this project called Wild Community for like 5-6 years now,
Yeah.
and the focus is, how do we create a healthy society? And I think the best tool to do that is through re-inhabiting the village or eco-villages or recreating
Yes.
village life and recreating the relationships and the interdependencies,
That's right.
caring for country, affordable housing,
Yeah.
land regeneration,
Community.
localization, you know, community empowerment that you can do by
Definitely. Yeah.
doing this, right? So we're just in the process of incorporating the not-for-profit that's going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, Frank and I are going to be directors, and
Oh,
we need one more
No
person.
taking profits. ROPHE says.
No fucking profits. Is that like WTF? So we're going to do the
Yes.
WTF News Crew, which is the World Truth Foundation.
Yes, perfect. The World Truth Foundation.
WTFs, we
Well,
got a
this
crew
is
on
WTF, the
Yeah.
WTF.
Yes.
Well, Truth
This
Foundation.
is the WTF.
Coming live and direct from the WTF.
What the fuck?
No, World Truth Foundation. What the fuck?
We're right
News
to
Crew?
share the news. 5 minutes before it happens, we're there. We're psychic. Our psychic meter is show up 5 minutes before the bomb goes off. It's flying out a glass slate window.
So the first project we're going to
That sounds
fundraise
great.
for is like somewhere probably around Lismore. I don't know, you know, between here and Lismore, 100 odd acres, a couple of houses or one house,
Fantastic.
maybe two,
Yeah.
but stick in a dozen sites
Yes.
that has facilities, everything you need except for the tiny home to begin with.
Yeah.
So a deck and an undercover roof,
Yeah.
a shed, a water tank,
That's all I need.
solar energy,
Yeah.
and some flat pads.
Yes.
And
That's great. Yeah.
and then the cost per site is like we can get the rent down to maybe 150 or maybe even $100 if we're lucky
Oh, right.
per
yeah.
person
A week.
a week. Yeah,
Oh,
which is like a
yeah.
third of Byron.
Mm.
But the other aspect of it too is that if we put in like we want to put in a 2, 3, 4 acre farm,
Yeah, beautiful.
and then there can be work exchange. So then the living becomes free essentially.
Yeah, that
And the
sounds great.
farm will pay for the rent and pay for the maintenance of the
And
property.
that would
And
only
feed you.
be a few hours.
And
It wouldn't-
feed you.
It wouldn't have
Organic
to be like a 9
food.
to 5 or
Mhm.
20 or 30 hours a week. It's just a few hours. And,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can get passionate about that. Like if you think you've got to be there 30 hours a week, you're just like, oh my God, you know,
Yeah,
I'll be creative in this. I mean, the gardening is a beautiful thing.
Mm.
I've got my own solar power running from my car and my 50-litre fridge, and I've got a deep cycle battery in the and I put my solar panel out, and I underestimated how strong my solar panel is. So I also have a relay from my engine that once that first battery on the engine's charged up, then it puts all the charge into
Oh,
the
wow.
deep cell battery and the deep cycle battery in the back.
Yeah, that's really
And,
clever.
but it wasn't enough. You have to really drive your car. And when I got the tiny house, I just put out the solar panel and stopped driving because I could walk around Bangalow. And I was surprised that even when the battery got a bit low, it's still the same battery 2 years later. And it's upped it again with the solar power. So, and that only cost $160 for that panel.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Because I had the
Battery.
similar, very similar setup, but I didn't do the trickle charge, so my battery's a bit
Oh,
dodgy,
yes.
bit dodgy now.
Yeah.
But I lived out at the
Yeah.
Rocky River, down by the river, with the
Oh.
mob out there
Yeah.
for
Rocky
a year.
River,
Just
yeah.
set up a 6 metre by 5 metre tarp,
Mhm.
had a tent, had a
Yeah.
desk, had a
Yeah.
kitchen. You know, put up my 4G antenna so I could
Oh, yeah,
have full
yeah,
internet
internet.
access, and
Yeah.
you know, it was like it
Yes.
was practically an office, but with
Yes.
no walls.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful living out there.
It's just
So
wonderful.
nice.
And then if you were getting rain bombed, though, that's another thing, isn't it? When you're getting a rain bomb,
Well, the
Charge there,
the
mate.
thing about, thank you, my
gotta go for.
Ananda's on the,
Oh,
Mother,
I don't know. Am I
On
going
the
to
juice again.
You
Can
can't
I
overdose
can't
on
overdose on
goodness.
this?
Good thing. Yeah.
Oh, cheers. Here's to good health.
yeah, here's to good
Here's to
health.
not
Yeah,
Good
now
people.
we've got one here for old
Here's to the
lady.
alcohol.
Complete homeostasis. Yeah, to the Ananda
And we
Alchema,
need the paradigms
Druid with the fluid.
of the
the
Lord.
druid with the fluid.
Yeah.
funny?
That's supersonically charged.
Absolutely. It's vibrating.
That just powered it up another
It's a
another
vibration.
dimension.
Mm.
And that was before we drank it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Wait until after.
It was just even just to mention it here, offer it out, you see. That's what the golden age elixir is all about.
Did you put the turkey tail in there?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Do you know what turkey tail does? I've been trying to remember.
Oh, well, it's mushrooms as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Turkey
so-
tail mushroom.
Sounds up the
It'll support.
Sorry, no, we're gone silly.
It's great. This
We're
is
not
what
really
it's
silly.
about. That's what it's about. That's what the turkey tail does.
You mentioned
There you
the
go,
rain
you wanna
bomb, and it's like, have this, and it's like, what rain bomb?
Oh,
There's no rain bomb.
no, I knew you were talking about
Rainbow.
something I wanted to talk. We knew we were on some topic. No, but the beauty of what I discovered was the beauty of living in the forest was that when the rain bombs come, the trees protect you. So even when we had corroboree out there 2 years ago, and the night before the corroboree, the wind was totally still. I think you might have been. I'm not sure if you were there. With Auntie
Was it-
Nellie and down
No,
by the river.
New Year's Eve set up?
No, it was
New
like
Year's?
22nd of December, solstice.
Yes, right. Now I wasn't there.
Yeah, cool.
Dan was out there.
But
I think I
yeah,
was
Dan
there.
was there.
Yep.
And I think you might have been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were sitting in the gunya down by the river, and there was no breeze. And I've never experienced anything like this in all my life. Within 10 seconds, it went from 0 to like 100. And it was the strongest breeze that I'd ever felt just come through.
Wow.
It lasted for about 15 seconds and went straight back to 0. And the mob were all like, right, that was a cleansing. That was a cleansing before tomorrow. And, you know, they were doing their work with the spirits and, you know, with the ancestors around that. And I went back up to my camp, which is in amongst the trees, and it was perfect, absolutely perfectly fine. So what I realised was, you know, you camp in amongst the trees because it protects you from the wind,
Yes.
protects you from the rain, because even if the rain's coming sideways, the trees make it fall
Yep.
vertically.
Sure.
Right, yeah, so you're
So
not
rain
like
bombs,
panic.
rain bombs really didn't matter.
No.
It was so nice. And then in the summer, protected you from the sun, etc., etc. It was so good. I loved it.
You were in the right place.
You were up there above Louis' camp, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
up on
up on that.
just slightly up on the hill, 300
Yeah.
or 400 meters.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, yeah, it's an entity. It's a spirit power.
The spirit.
I've experienced in the outback of in Cooper Pedy. I'm gonna told you this. I was on a film.